Hello everyone, it's the Venomous Xenomorph, and welcome to another video talking about Springtrap in Dead by Daylight. Obviously, last night's video was kind of a rushed upload sort of thing to try and get back into the loop when it comes to that information on Springtrap in Dead by Daylight, but now, with a completely awake brain and a nice, newly edited video to look actually really decent for you guys to see, we officially have a lot of different hints pointing towards Springtrap being the next paragraph killer. I just want to say right off the bat, though, nothing is completely confirmed yet, but this is a lot of coincidental information that could very well be evidence to Springtrap being the next paragraph chapter. Obviously, the first piece of evidence we'll be looking at right here are the teasers, which have involved different types of hidden letters, as well as one that just blatantly spat out the letter A, but we'll get more into that in a second. For the first teaser, it was the Circus teaser, which led a lot of people to believe that Pennywise would be added to the game. They added an extra I to the word Circus on the sign, which doesn't seem like a lot. It honestly would signify a second clown coming in if we hadn't seen this prior. We've seen this before. During Five Nights at Freddy's 3's beta test, Scott Cawthon was able to actually manipulate the way he described his beta test response by adding extra letters to certain words within his paragraph. And in exchange, if you broke down those extra letters, it was a hidden message that said, "My name is Springtrap," which revealed the name of Springtrap for William Afton's decaying body within the Spring Body animatronic, which is exactly what's going on here, I believe. I believe that this is a hidden letter that is signifying something coming up. The next thing that we need to pay attention to is the next teaser, which is the quote-unquote possible Springtrap appearance teaser. Everybody's thinking that it's Springtrap in the background. Me, Polyester, and Schmuckles kind of agree that it's not. We've enhanced the image and looked at it very closely, and we personally believe that it is a crow on a rock. Even though there may not be a crow spawn there, it is highly likely that that is something that they manipulated for the teaser as a red herring, which we'll get back to the red herring meaning in a second. But the key detail that needs to be remembered here is the letters appearing in the teasers, and obviously the letter S appears on top of the burning barrel within the picture. This is another reference that is possible to Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Springtrap survived not one, but two different fires within the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. The first one being the burning down of Fazbear's Fright, due to what I believe everyone has come to a consensus on, Michael Afton burning down the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 location, and then Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator burning down, ultimately killing him, until he revitalized himself as Glitchtrap. The next teaser we're going to be looking at is obviously the one that screamed the next letter in our face, the letter A. This is not a very significant letter in terms of, like, hidden meaning or anything like that. It's just the letter A. It does debunk the spelling of the name Pennywise, though, because Pennywise doesn't even have an A in its name. So the prior letters, I and S, would have been perfect for either Springtrap or Pennywise, but now we officially have a letter that leads into the name of Springtrap. We also got a Twitter response, like in terms of a retweet from the Dead by Daylight mobile page to the Dead by Daylight standard page on Twitter, and they actually use the letters RT, which that doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people. Retweet is usually abbreviated to RT, but the difference here is Dead by Daylight's never actually done that before. They've never put the two letters RT for a retweet before in any of their retweets. They've just straight up retweeted the page or quoted it saying congratulations or whatever, but they've never actually put RT in there. And that feels like a very specific meaning. R and T fit into the word Springtrap very easily, so it could be another hint. Right after that tweet went out, though, they responded with a profile, or not a profile picture, but just a picture of the perk Red Herring, which it was in response to Dead by Daylight Mobile's tweet of a lazy Tuesday, allowing them to basically put whatever perk build they want in that picture, and Dead by Daylight's standard page suggested the red herring, which this could be a sign that all of this is just skeptical, nonsense that we're just getting thrown off on a limb so that way nobody can expect what the real killer is going to be for this paragraph chapter. But to be 100% honest, there's a lot of moments like these that Scott has taken advantage of. he has trolled us many times, and this would not be out of the way for a final Scott hurrah of like a pre-written plan before any of the drama went down involving Scott Cawthon to allow Springtrap to be teased into the game. It is possible that the red herring perk is in fact its own red herring, that it's meant to cause confusion and it's meant to cause people to detour off of any ideas they're building off of the prior letters. The next thing we're going to be discussing is timing, where exactly this takes place in terms of what significance the timing of all these Easter eggs and hints has on this possibly being Springtrap. One of the things that was brought to my attention relatively fast was the fact that the next state of play is supposed to be this month, and it could either be the 12th or the 19th, because it usually happens on a Thursday. And while that is true, one of the things that needs to be noted is the next Five Nights at Freddy's game, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, will be a PlayStation exclusive, which means it will be at an event like a State of Play in order to show any sort of update on the game's progress or a new trailer or maybe even a release date. But one of the things that needs to be noted exactly is this sounds very familiar to the Resident Evil situation. When we were getting teasers involving Resident Evil being added to the game, they were revolving around anniversaries. They were revolving around the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil, as well as the anticipation and hype for the next installment, Resident Evil Village. This is very important because this likens back to the same situation with Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's, the original game came out 7 years ago, so this is the 7th anniversary of the first ever Five Nights at Freddy's game. And secondly, this is the next installment we're talking about. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach is going to be the most anticipated entry in the franchise because it's going to be the biggest entry in the franchise in terms of where the story is going to go and what the different game styles are going to become. And Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach coming out later this year with no set release date is exactly the same as Resident Evil Village, except Resident Evil Village did have a release date that they followed up with after the delay from, the pandemic. But other than that, we don't have any confirmed news or any new information so far that Springtrap will be added to the game. All we know is that these are very good signs lining up to the fact that it could be Springtrap, as well as the timing is absolutely perfect. My concept for Springtrap and Dead by Daylight that soared my channel to success was over a year ago. And usually it takes about 9 months or so to be able to develop something in regards to a DLC or a chapter to a game like Dead by Daylight. So a little over 9 months to be able to develop a Springtrap chapter is not exactly far-fetched. It is very likely that Springtrap will be the next chapter in Dead by Daylight. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think it could still be Pennywise? The odds are still high for him. Do you think it's something as basic as Candyman? A lot of people seemed weirded out at the fact that I said something as little as Candyman in my last video. I'm not a huge fan of Candyman. I know that he's supposed to be a horror icon, but I just can't take him seriously. To me, he's a glorified version of Bloody Mary, because he works the same way. You say the name in the mirror 5 times, he shows up and kills you, right? It's a play on the legend of Bloody Mary in order to make it a little bit more scary and a little bit more frightening. So I've never been a huge fan of Candyman because I feel like he's just a ripoff of an older urban legend. But that's besides the point. Do you think it could be Candyman? Do you think it could be Pennywise? If you think it is Springtrap, let me know what you guys think he will act like, look like, his ability might be. Do you think he might talk? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell for more videos like these to make sure you're always posted on the Springtrap and Dead by Daylight concept updates. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!